Hey folks, today we are starting a new unit. Hopefully you picked up your new packet. This is going to feel a little bit like Algebra 1 today, but that's okay, because it does pertain to geometry. Today we're going to be doing, and probably over the next couple of days, doing a review of slope. You should be on page 1 in your packet, your new packet. Slope, the definition is in front of you. If you would like to read that, you can. But what they're basically getting at here is that slope is the change in the y coordinates over the change in the x coordinates. And they have this very nice formula that I don't know if they allowed you to use back in Algebra 1 or not. Some teachers call it different things. It basically takes the y values, it subtracts them in the numerator, takes the x values and subtracts them in the denominator. And a lot of times we call this rise over run because the rise is the vertical direction, but we run in the horizontal direction. So the rise is the difference in the y coordinates and the run is the difference in the x coordinates. We oftentimes use this formula when we have the ordered pairs. And by that, this is what I mean, like an x, comma, a y. So like maybe you have the point 2, comma 3, and then you have another point 4, comma 1. Those are ordered pairs. And that is typically what we use the formula for. We normally use rise over run when we have a graph of the line, like you see here. We have a nice graph of a line where they're showing you, and I'm going to label this, maybe you could label that in your notes, rise and run. Okay, so continuing to the bottom of page 1, what we have here is a completely worked out example of what it looks like with the formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually label. This is going to be like my first point. So this is going to be x1, y1, because that's my first point. And then this is going to be x2 and y2. So I have the formula. I think it's always helpful to write that down. Like if you got it on a piece of paper, write down the formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and go, okay, what is y2? That's a 5. What is y1? That's a 3. 5 minus 3. Then we're going to go to the denominator. And we're going to say, okay, what is x2? Well, x2 is 2 minus x1, which is negative 1. Now, a lot of you at this point could go directly into the Desmos calculator, and I will show you how to do that when we come back together. A lot of you get in trouble with subtracting and adding double negatives, and so it is okay with me if you struggle with that you use the Desmos calculator. Now, if you don't like the formula and you have some graph paper, or you are willing to draw a graph, then you can always use rise over run. Let's go to page 2. Here we have, find the slope of the line that passes through negative 4, 3, and 2, 5. And they've given us a graph, and they've specifically said, hey, they want me to use rise over run. So the first thing we have to do is put these points in their correct places on the graph by starting, and I'm going to make a little red dot right here. We want to start at the origin, or at the point 0, 0. And this negative 4 is going to be over here, and then up 3. So sorry. So negative 4 to the left, up 3. The second point is going to be 2 to the right, and up 5 times. So give me just 1 second, so I can try to get those 2 points. It's not really letting me so well. There we go. So what I'm going to be trying to do is trying to go from that point to that point and figuring out how many blocks do I go up or down and how many blocks do I go left or right. Now we always start with the point that's on the left and we travel to the point that's on the right. So we go this way. The reason is that's how we read a textbook. When we read from right to left. So when we measure slope, we start with that left point and go toward that y point, that right point, excuse me. So that's what this line is going to sort of look like. Now the question is, what is our rise? Well, we're going to go up 2, and that's going to put us right there. But then we have to go over to the right, and that's a positive 2, because that's up, so that's in the positive direction. Then we're going to go to the right. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is in the positive x direction. So it is a positive 2 over a positive 6. And we can reduce that, or we can leave it. If you have trouble reducing it and you want to, remember that the Desmos will let you to do that. Here we can go up 1 over 2, 3, and we're still going to be on the line. So that works, 2 over 6 or 1 over 3. Let's try another one. Here they've given us the graph of the line, -2, 0, and 0, -3. So what we're going to do is start with the left point and travel to the right point. So in this case, we're going to have down and right, like that. We could go right and down, but I like to go in the up and down direction first. So this is going to be down 3. That's my rise. And 2 to the right, which is +2. So that's our slope. Now, if we do this a second time with the formula, we should get the same answer. So let's take our points x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're going to substitute those into the formula. y2 is -3 minus y1 is -2. x2 is 0 minus, oh, I did that wrong. So sorry. Let Mrs. Lucas go back and erase that. She screwed up. So sorry. So let's try that again. y2 is -3. y1 is 0. I jumped over there and grabbed the x coordinate. And I know that's wrong, but I did it anyway. I screwed up. But it does happen, so we have to be careful about that. Now our x2, let's see, that's a 0 minus our x1, maybe if it's circled then that would be a little bit better, -2. So -3 minus 0, and 0 minus -2 is -3 halves. And now that I did it right, I got the same answer twice, which is good because we want to get the same slope no matter what method that we use.